Hi. Did you ever have any nerves that you had to overcome?
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone has nerves. I mean, getting up in front of people, there's always expectations to do well, so I think that kind of plays some mind games with you sometimes. But when you love something so much, it kind of gets easier with time to not focus so much on the nerves, but the excitement of it all, which is what I tend to focus on. But I do still get nervous, but I think more of it's adrenaline and excitement.
So Ethan, a follow-up on that. How much of it can you push away by rehearsing and rehearsing and rehearsing?
Quite a bit. I mean, if you feel prepared, you are prepared. 90% of the job is preparing for it and rehearsing. And so if you can get that out of the way and just go on stage knowing that you have what it takes and that you're 100% rehearsed, the rest is just a lot of fun, actually.
How many hours will you spend on a song before you will perform that song live?
Hours?
Yeah, do you break it out that way, or?
I do. If I'm writing a song, I'll play it a whole bunch of times before I feel comfortable performing it in front of anyone. With cover songs, I will listen to it. My method is kind of weird. I try to listen to it just enough to learn it, and then not really listen to it too much anymore, just so I don't copy the artist too much, because you really do have to be unique and have your own sound. And if you focus too much on what the person you're covering is doing, you're going to start imitating them, and that takes away originality, which you don't want to do. So I'll listen to it enough to get the basics and then try and make up my own thing.
There you go. Good for you. Tabitha, you had a question. Perhaps. Tabitha's her mom, by the way. Lindsay.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
Sorry.
Well, you're good.
She didn't practice the question ahead
That's
of time.
fine. I didn't practice the answer, so we're on the same page. We're good.
What do you do if people ever tell you, you're not good?
I go and cry about it and give up. No, I'm totally kidding. That's not at all my answer.
Well, that's a great question. Have you ever heard
It is a
that?
really good question. Just don't listen to anybody, because the whole idol experience, if I got anything out of that, it is how to get thick skin and how to center in on who you are as an individual, as an artist, and focus on that, because people will try and tear you down. But like I always say, if you love something enough, they can't take that away from you, and you can't let them, because music is such an amazing thing, and people either get jealous or they don't want you to succeed, and you don't want them to take anything away from you, because you guys are all here for a reason. So I don't want anyone to ever tell you guys that you're not good, because I was listening backstage and you guys are very, very good.
So we're going to leave this one to Chino. This, by the way, is a young man who's already told us he'll practice about 5 hours a day in the studio he has at home.
Do you make big bucks now?
Okay, right with them, all right. You know, I don't know about big bucks. I live in Nashville now. I do have a job. It's around the music industry, so that helps me out a lot. But strictly full-time, I wouldn't say I make the big bucks, but I'm not doing awful. I'm alive, and I have a place down in Nashville. I'm paying the rent on my own, so I guess I'm doing all right. But nothing too much.
So it's always about putting yourself in the right place, right? In the right position. So there's this great video of this kid who was working at the Grand Ole Opry, and he was running video back and forth, and that was his job. And he kept getting in trouble with his bosses because he kept trying to get himself into the show, the live television show.
That would be me, yeah.
Well, that would be you. It was also a young man by the name of Alan Jackson.
Oh, that would not be me.
Yeah. So, Chino, it's all about getting out there, doing the job, right? We talked
another
about
thing, just to branch off that a bit, it definitely does not happen overnight. I did the Teen Idol 5 years ago now, and at that time, between that time and now, I've released a couple CDs independently and did American Idol, and I'm still going and still striving to do even better each and every day, but it's not an overnight process, so you guys are definitely starting off in the right spot doing this. These type of competitions is definitely the way I would suggest getting into it, because it builds a lot of confidence and experience that you definitely need if you're going to pursue music.
Yeah. You had a question?
Where do you get your motivation from?
Basically I get my motivation from everyday life. Sometimes someone will say something that will kind of trigger. Are you talking songwriting or just in general? In general. My family, my friends, people I'm around, I try to surround myself with positive people who are a good influence on me. I have a strong faith, and I believe that you need to focus on the positives in life and not too much on the negatives, or you won't be motivated if you're kind of down in the dumps all the time. You know, you got to stay positive, and you have to always have a good outlook on life, because, you know, especially now, there's a lot of negative stuff in the news constantly. I'm sure you all know there's so much going on in the world that can kind of just depress you and take away your motivation. But the best thing is music. That's the best therapy. It's universal, and everyone and anyone can be a part of it, and that's why you can stay motivated if you're pursuing music. So that's...
What writer do you get your motivation from?
What was that?
Like, what songwriter do you get your motivation from?
What songwriter?
Most.
Keith Urban's got some awesome songs, you know. As far as inspirational, motivational, there's Christian artists that I definitely like. As far as songwriters, there's not really a specific one. I'm not really sure of some of the names of them, but it's anyone who writes from the heart and takes it seriously, because I feel like there's some music out there now that's not really that. And so it's really special to me as a listener, not just an artist, to hear people writing something that's really good and genuine. And that's definitely what inspires me, is people who really take it seriously and don't just do it for fun, you know, they do it because they're passionate about it.
Very nice.
Matthew,
What's your favorite type of music?
My favorite type of music is definitely country pop. I like country roots, but I love a pop feel. I know people are always saying country's not country anymore, which is true. I love the old country, and I appreciate it because that's where all this new music stemmed off of. But, you know, I love Carrie Underwood, Hunter Hayes, Keith Urban, Shania Twain. Oh my gosh. I grew up listening to her. I had to say it, I grew up listening to her. So I love being on the edge and not following the rules and the guidelines. I'm working on some original music now, and it's country rooted, but it's not specifically country. There's a lot of different influences within that music, and I love that kind of stuff.
this is your chance, guys. Anybody else?
Anybody?
Yeah, Gino wants to go again. So, how much money did that really mean?
This is a serious question now.
Down there,
Like, who pushed you to become more into music?
Well, I'm going to put someone on the spot really bad right now, but it has to happen. There's a woman right there with a video camera. Her name is Kim. So let's give her a round of applause. I think that's appropriate. When I first joined the Teen Idol, I had actually never performed in front of an audience before. So doing this competition was the very first time I had sang in front of an audience, and it was all her idea. She booked it, got me signed up. But, you know, my family, my friends who just always told me never to give up and to pursue what you love, because you're not going to go anywhere if you don't try. And so I think the most important step is having faith and going after it. And so my family has definitely financially and just emotionally has helped me along the way, which is really cool, because I don't know how I would do it without my family, so yeah.
Anybody else?
Probably because 1 at 3 a.m.
Yeah, you will. I should have
Find
asked
me on
this.
Facebook and I'll answer it.
So speaking of Facebook, also find 5 Star Subaru on Facebook. Everybody should like 5 Star Subaru. Make sure that you're getting your updates from our Facebook page on that as well. So we'll make sure that we connect all the way through that. So Ethan, a couple more questions. What would you say, I mean, through the whole journey, you've been nationally known. You were getting millions of votes on American Idol. What's the most difficult part of the process, and what would you do differently?
I feel like I was pretty much ready when I did Idol. I mean, you're never fully ready for something you don't know what it is. I mean, I had watched Idol growing up and I knew about it, but you know, I didn't really study the show a whole lot, so I wasn't really familiar with the layout and the process behind it. And it's definitely an eye-opener when you start branching out and doing national things. You know, you have to learn how to do interviews, you have to learn choreography, you have to learn staging, you have to learn song choice, and there's so many elements to make a successful artist, but it's so worth it, and it is a lot of pressure. But the best thing that I learned is I do better under pressure, because you're being pushed and you have no, like once the train's going, it's like left the station, so you have no choice but to keep rolling with it. So that was mainly what, you know, got me going, was just the thought of, you know, I made it this far, I'm not going to let anything get in the way, like nerves or fear or anything. I'm going to pursue it and make it happen one way or the other.
Here's a goal and it's going to happen.
There's a goal and it's going to happen.
Good for you. Best piece of advice you ever received?
Belinda, when I sang open for her here, she said, dream big. That's all it is. It's just dream big. There's so many things you can do in life, and the music industry is such a hard one to break into. It really is. And I've learned that over the years as well, moving to Nashville last year. there's so much talent down there and competition. So it's very difficult to break into it. But if you dream big and you have the charisma and the energy to do it, definitely do it. And who knows what will happen.
Guys, if you want a career in music, make sure you friend Ethan on Facebook. You have a friend here, somebody who will
Yes.
help you through the
I
process.
got you guys.
Guys, if you have no more questions, we're going to let our top 16 head back to their seats.